First Amendment rights. 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 First Amendment.
You're not the king, Mr. Bloomberg.
Bloomberg, you are scum.
You can't take our
Freedom of the press, Bloomberg.
Hey, Bloomberg, you're anti-American. First Amendment rights. First Amendment rights. First Amendment rights. You anti-American. First Amendment rights. 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 Freedom of the press. Freedom of the press. Freedom of the press. Freedom of the press. Freedom of the press.
Your
Freedom of the press. 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 Freedom of the press.
The assault on the freedom of speech that's enumerated in the Bill of Rights.
Well, actually, what he's trying to do is he's trying to restrict documentation of our actions. So they have cameras in every corner, right? And now they're trying to make us sign policies, and we got to realize anything that's unconstitutional is null and void, especially a policy. That means they're trying to force us to sign policies to shoot anything under over 10 minutes. So even a tourist has to have $1 million in insurance and has to sign this contract saying that our policy, when I go correct term, to shoot anything longer than 10 minutes.
It's the gradual changing of rights to permissions, which is
privileges over rights.
So you think some guys got together and said, hey, we saw the Hillary video, we saw the Giuliani video, they're asking too many questions, we got to do something to clamp down. You think that's a possibility?
I mean, absolutely it's a possibility, and they certainly don't want anyone else to be inspired by what you guys are doing and to get their cameras up too, because well, the videotapes that exist of September 11th are exactly what's going to expose the lies that have been told about it. That's the only reason that those lies are as exposed as they are, and that's the only reason why people are going to find out. It's because the videotapes exist. So
okay.
The news agencies that are mostly responsible for this and the government agencies that are responsible for things like this are involved in racketeering. Because they're using their power of force and authoritarianism rather than the due process of law and the rule of law to impede upon our rights, and what's becoming our duty to report on the corruption on every levels of government. And in a big city like New York, this absolutely cannot stand. They got cameras mounted on every street corner.
That's right.
And they're trying to outlaw people having cameras on the street, giving real coverage.
If being I'm a filmmaker, it seems a little crazy that I have to pay permits and insurance to come down and shoot something when I'm a one-person team, especially if I'm shooting a documentary. I just don't understand it. It's ridiculous.
Bloomberg, it's my right to use a camera.
This is my camera and I'll use it.
Yeah.
The people have the right to use their cameras.
I'm gonna use it, damn it. My camera is my gun.
Free speech, free video.
They can have their cameras all over the place, but we can't have ours now?
Your scummy hands will never get my cameras.
Where's the license for that camera?
No license.
You can have my camera when you pry it out of my cold, dead hands.
You want this camera, sir? Come and get it. Personal. I'll be here.